السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. The month of Ramadan is here, and it is important for us to educate ourselves and our children, our families, our friends regarding all the things that break and do not break our fasts in Ramadan. Sometimes we do certain things unknowingly thinking that our fast has been broken, and in fact it is not broken. And sometimes we do things and we think that our fast has not been broken, but in reality it has been broken. So knowing these things are important for us as Muslims, knowing the ahkam, and these things will help us bring more khushu' and khudu', meaning more sincerity and more focused on our a'mal, and rather than thinking, will this be alright, will this be alright. In reality, these things should be taught to our children and people before the month of Ramadan. However, some people are busy with certain things. People don't have time. They want to clear their schedule. They want to clear their things, so that in the month of Ramadan, they are more focused on ibadah, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let us today learn a few things that do not break the fast. So these are things that if they were done, then the fast would not break. Number one, the fast does not break from forgetfully eating or drinking, even if a person forgetfully eats more than once. So if a person doesn't remember he was fasting, because the whole year we're in a habit of not fasting, so we're not that conscious, and subconsciously we then go walking past the kitchen, grab something to eat and just put it in the mouth, and then later on we remember that, oh, I was supposed to be fasting. So if something like that happens, the fast does not break. Humans or mankind cannot be held accountable for what they do not remember. So the fast will not break. Number two, if a person sees or is seen eating or drinking forgetfully, then if they are healthy and strong to keep the fast without pain and trouble, it is wajib to remind them of their fast. However, if they are not strong enough, or if they are weak, and they have trouble in fasting, then if someone sees them eating or drinking during fast, then they should not be reminded, and one should let them eat. So normally, like in families, we get little kids who are fasting, and kids, they do the fast from shawq and raghba, and if we know that he's eating in front of us, meaning he's doing it because he doesn't remember, maybe we can let the children eat and say, eat. Once they finish eating, then we say, do you remember it's Ramadan, you're supposed to be fasting? And then you tell them that, look, because you forgetfully ate, so your fast does not break. But if a person is healthy, he's all that, and he's just eating some chips and stuff, in that case, one should tell them that, look, you're supposed to be fasting, don't eat. But this is the concession that the Sharia has given to us, that if a weak person or someone like a pregnant woman in her early stages, or for whatever reason they are fasting, in that case, if they're eating and drinking forgetfully, one should not remind them. Swallowing saliva. And it doesn't matter how much it is, it does not break the fast. The next one is if a person properly gargles after eating pan, for example. Someone ate pan in the morning and before suhoor, and then he probably goggled his mouth, but then there's redness which is still stuck to his gums and teeth, and then that's also mixed within the saliva. So when he spits and that redness is still coming out and it's not going away, then there's no problem in that. The fast will not break. The next one is that the fast does not break if a person sniffs so hard that something went down their throat. So if something went up from their nose and went down their throat, their fast will not break. The next one is that if the blood is less than the saliva and the blood cannot be tasted in the throat, then the fast does not break. After that, if a person tasted something with their tongue and immediately spat it out, then the fast does not break. However, doing this for no reason is makruh. If someone's husband is fussy, ill-tempered, or he's abusive, of that sort of character that he is, then it is permissible for a woman to, when she's cooking for him, to taste the food to see if the salt and all the spices are they are edible for her husband. And so Islam has given this much concession for a woman, that if she is fasting and she needs to make sure that the food is well presented, because she wants to protect herself from abuse, she wants to protect herself from any kind of violence, or she just wants, she knows the habit of her husband. So in that case, if she just tasted something to see if it tastes okay, then she's okay to taste it. It doesn't mean that she takes a spoon of tasting. That just means that she tastes a little bit, just enough on her tongue, and that she knows that whether this is spicy enough or it is tasty enough for him. The next one is that it is makruh, meaning disliked, to chew something in the mouth and feed it to a child. However, there is permission for this if there's great need for it, or someone feels helpless, that there's no other way, that the child is not feeding or of some sorts. In that case, to chew something, and this doesn't normally happen back in the olden days. Now, alhamdulillah, we have food which is mashed. We have mashed foods, we have canned foods for the kids. So I don't think there will be any instance that it would be applicable today. However, one should at least know the ahkam. If for whatever reason a situation ever occurred like this, one should know that it is makruh, but the fast will not break. It is permissible to clean the teeth with miswak. Whether the miswak is dry or wet, it is not makruh, even if one can taste the miswak. So the miswak, that toothstick, has its own taste to it. So if someone can taste that, it's not makruh, that's just how it is. And rather, a person is recommended to do this in Ramadan, and to make sure that they are presentable and they are still following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The fast does not break from giving blood, or blood transfusions, injections, and drips. So a person should know that if they are using an injection like vaccines and stuff, if they have to get a vaccine, or they there's some kind of illness or sickness, in that case they can use injections into their veins or into the muscle. That is permissible. The fast does not break by applying makeup. So if women apply cream or lotion on the face, it will not break their fast. The fast does not break from applying lipstick as well. However, one should be careful that the lipstick should not be put in such a way that it enters the mouth. So just a light version of it, but as long as it doesn't go in the mouth, that should be fine, inshallah. A fasting person getting a wet dream, and that does not invalidate the fast. So if someone was sleeping during out the day, or they had a wet dream after suhoor, after fajr, or any other time, in that case their fast is not invalidated. They can need to make ghusl and they continue on with their fast. Istihada. Istihada is an illness that women get, that they it's not their monthly cycle, but they bleed irregularly. So in that state, they still have to pray. So they still have to go make wudu, clean up, make wudu, and then pray. So similarly, they will just continue on with their fast as well. And if during the fast the blood of istihada appears, this is before or during the fast. If istihada, the blood appears, then the fast does not break. The next one is that if medicine is applied at the place surrounding the anus, meaning, and the medicine does not enter inside, the fast is not broken. So sometimes if a person has some kind of sickness, illness, they've got some kind of skin problems or infections or any kind of thing like that, and they applied something from the backside, in that case that would not break the fast as long as it does not go inside. So maybe they have hemorrhoids or something of some sorts. These things are still important to know. During COVID and other things as well, when there was lockdown, I had certain people ask me questions about can they get a colonoscopy done during Ramadan. So it's not just about medicine, but anything that goes up from the backside that will invalidate the fast, and a person should not fast that day if it's a must, and then make qada up for it later on, or they should reschedule their appointment to a later date if possible. Applying balm, any kind of a rub or a balm, does not break the fast, but one should abstain from inserting it into the nose. For example, someone has a cold and they're applying Vicks. So if they're applying Vicks on their chest or on their neck, that is permissible. However, it should not be put inside the nose, but if they just want to put under the nose a little bit, that should be fine, inshallah. Sniffing flowers or any kind of attar or scents or perfume, that does not break the fast. Also, it is permissible to wrap a wet cloth around the body or head in the state of dehydration during fasting. So people who are fasting in countries where there is summer, and if it's extremely hot and they feel like they will get dehydrated, so to get hydrated, they could put some wet things over their forehead or on their face and cool down a little bit. They could also sit in a bathtub or take a shower. It is all permissible. Bleeding due to injuries to the nose, mouth, ears, or due to hemorrhoids does not break the fast. Also, it is permissible for a fasting person to floss their teeth. So if someone has something in their teeth they want to floss, that is permissible, but one should keep in mind to use the thread which is not flavored, like strawberry or mint or these kind of flavored. It is makruh if the thread is flavored, so one should not use flavored thread. It is also permissible for a fasting person to swim, but one has to be extremely careful that the water does not go through the mouth or nostrils. If this happens, then the fast will break and one will have to do qada. So maybe he's a professional athlete or a swimmer or something. Maybe, or some people just have an exercise routine because they have some kind of illness or they have some kind of injury and they're going through therapy. Regardless of whatever the circumstances is, one should try that the water and mouth doesn't. But it's really hard. To be honest, it is really hard that if you're going for a freestyle swim, the water will somehow enter your nose or mouth. So either the best thing is to maybe just run in the water. There's times where you could swim without doing freestyle, and then maybe put your swimming lessons after iftar or before suhoor. A fasting person is allowed to remove unwanted hair, and this does not affect the fast. So unwanted hair means they can go get a haircut, they can trim off their mustache, or they could remove their hair from their armpits or their groin. So any pubic hair that they want to remove and they want to shower, that is completely fine. That will not break the fast. A COVID test does not break the fast. So if someone needs to get a COVID test, that should be fine, inshallah. And a COVID vaccine, which is done through injection, that also does not break the fast, as previously mentioned. So these are some of the things that do not break our fast, and one should be extremely careful that they are well aware of these ahkam and these masail, so they don't do things in life that will invalidate their fast, and then without knowing there's qada wajib on them, but they don't do the qada because they thought that their fast never broke. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase us more in knowledge and give us the tawfiq to act upon this knowledge and protect ourselves from ignorance. Jazakumullahu khairan.